here's my plans for the day. I'm going to start putting the piece in across the back, go across there, and I'm going to be putting in smaller pieces. What I'll do is I'll take like this first piece, I'm going to put pocket holes down here, and then I'm going to overlap. This is I think like a 4 or 5 inch overlap, and then I'll be able to piece this in, and then I'll use the last one. Let's say now put this in here like that, and then this is the thickness of the plywood that's going to go on there. So I want to make sure that that's going to be the same height. So I'll raise this up so it'll be flush, and then I'll put some construction adhesive in here, and I'll run some screws through here, through both boards and into this one. That'll be actually stronger than what it would be if it was a solid piece. So I'll do that. I'll piece that all in with these overlap until I get all the way down to the other end. And then I'm going to put one solid piece in over here on this side. And then once I get that done, that'll kind of be the end of this video. Then the next one I'll start working on the other pieces. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll come back when I get a couple of these put in, show you how that's going. I've got this first joint here, and you can see I had some of the adhesive actually leaked out a little bit. And now then, because I lined this up here for it was flush, put those 2 screws in. So now all I need to do is this one here, I cut them on the same side, so I had to put another one on the same side, so it makes it easier for the rest of them. So now I got these pre-started over here into this board, so now I just need to make sure that I get this lined up down here where it's flush, and then put those screws in, and we'll be all set there. What I'm using for these is I've got some construction screws 2.5 inches long, so then it goes through this 1.5 inches and into here about 1 inch, and then I have some 3-inch screws I'll be using to go through into this next, because they'll go clear through this one. So the next one I put on, you can see right here is the end of that beam, so I want to get that down on that beam out, bring out this way. So I'll put one more layer. Originally it didn't have 2 layers, it just had the 2 layers, not the 3, but I'm going to add an extra one, a little extra support here in the back. Ready for the last board to go in. I have it all cut. I have the pocket holes in here with the screws ready to go. I put a couple extra screws in just so I don't have to start them once it's there. These are ready to go on here. Now all I need to do is put some construction adhesive down over here. I've been putting some down in here. You can put a bunch of it on. Now then I get ready to put that in. I can just kind of move it around and get it in here. So I'll get that fitted in, and then I'll make sure that side is where it needs to be, and then we got one more piece to put on. Well, I have this backboard in, have that all put in, and now we have this side all put in. Now just to give a little extra strength in the back, I'm going to put another layer across the back of here, and then I'll start putting pieces in. I have one here marked to put that one in. That board right here is actually sitting on a beam going across there, so I can seam that anywhere. So I've got it marked out to cut a little half lap in there like I did these over here, and I'll put that in there, put a couple 1-inch screws in there from each direction, hold it together with the construction adhesive. That should hold that just fine then. We're continuing on by putting these supports in. I have this fitted. It's not fastened down yet. I just have it fitted here. Now this one is actually resting on the beam all the way across there, so it didn't matter where I put the seam, so I went ahead and just put in this short piece here. And then I'll put some construction adhesive, and I'll put some screws going from both directions, holding that together. And then I'll probably pocket hole some screws down at the end of here to kind of lag it into the other boards. So I use 3-inch screws there, so they go in there quite a ways. So that's what I'll do there next, and then I'll continue on with these as we go across. I've got my second one in. I got the first one in here, and I put the seam anywhere because it was over a bar. Now in this one here, you might be able to see right here my fingers at. There's where the beam is. It runs all the way across this way. So I put my joint across the center of that so that I have it overlapping on each side. See, here's the edge of it, and I got another couple inches over here on each side, so I have some good support for that joint. And then on the side I toe-nailed in some screws in the side of there. So I got 3-inch long ones, so they go in quite a ways into the other board. So that should give some good support. It's getting kind of hot out here today. It's probably about 90 degrees, so it's time to call it a day, and I just need to get two more longer ones and one more shorter one. This one would be a short one, just like this one over here was, and that's where we're at. So we'll continue tomorrow. Now we're doing a little bit of a leak test. We're spraying around this door here, and a little bit of spraying. You can see water's coming in, so we know this little door is leaking. So now we're going to go check to see if the door itself is leaking. So you can hear my wife's out there hosing around the door, and then we'll watch and see if any water comes in. Well, after we did the water leak test, found this is the window or the hatch that is causing the problems. So we'll get that sealed up so we don't have any more problems. I have this board cut, and with the half lap in here, so I can put it over this beam down here. I have the shorter one here cut, and I have this longer one that comes back here. I'll have to remove this flooring piece here first before I do that. So that'll be the last one I do. I'm going to start with this one and then do this one, and then I'll take this flooring up and do this one, and then we'll do the bottom. We'll tighten this cover up down here on the bottom, staple that, and get that done. Then the next step will be plywood. We now have 2 more put in. This little short one here and this long one over here. It was just tight enough that I couldn't kind of pull them together. I made it just barely small enough, or big enough, or small enough, whatever. I had to put a clamp on there to clamp the 2 together so I could get the screws in there, but the construction adhesive squeezed out, so I know I got a good joint in there. Now the next thing to do is clean up all my tools that I've kind of gathered over this period, and get ready to take up this next one so I can put this last board in. So that's kind of where I'm at. Now I'll be cleaning up, taking this board off, and I'll come back when that gets done. Well, I now have all the support rafters, the other ones in here in between. Those are all done. The outside all done. I know where the leak is. Now I just need to take and put the anchors through the frame, through the wood, and then the frame. There's some big old lag bolts I got to put in there. I think there's like 5 of them or something like that I need to put in. And I may put a couple more across the back. Didn't originally have them, but I'm going to get those put in. Get the insulation back. This is what the insulation was. It was in here. So I had to fill that in because a lot of it was all bad from being all wet. And then, like here, this isn't very good. So I'll pull that up when I get this up. Make sure I have good insulation down, and I'll pull this in. So the next thing is start cleaning all the mess up so there's everything out of here, and then make sure I get everything all clean, and then start stapling this cover on because it should be nice and tight, shouldn't be bowed down. So I'll just pull that up, get that tight, get it stapled, and then we're on to the next step. Because I do need to use this next weekend's when I'm planning on using it, so I don't have a whole lot of time. I got about 7 days to finish it all up. Well, I have everything rebuilt. I've stretched the covering on the bottom. Now next thing, while I'm waiting for the bolts to show up, my wife went to go pick up some bolts, new ones. I'm going to finish insulating these out, and that way they'll be all insulated, ready when we get the bolts. Then when we get the plywood, put that down, and then we're getting close to being the end. Well, of course, we still have the sides over here to work on, but we can work on that after we get the floor done.